Hey, what's going on guys? It's White Gaming back again for the final Generation Zero video of the day. And this one is going to be all about the Landfall update patch notes. It is a lengthy one detailing everything that is in the update and the amount of bugs that they've squashed. There's loads of good stuff in this, including stuff that we may see in the future, which is brilliant. I have a couple of videos on things that we might see in the future as the week goes on, alongside some things on the weapon wheel and loads of other stuff, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, I greatly appreciate it, and it helps us grow a whole bunch. Now, the Landfall update has finally arrived, the first update in quite some time. There's quite a lot that we went into this one. Not only have we added plenty for everyone to enjoy for free, we've also squashed quite a few bugs, both new and old, to get this update to you all. This is the first time since its release that Generation Zero has had new enemies arriving to the skirmishes in Osterton. The Soviet faction has become much more tangible this month as they bring two new machines into the fray. How did they arrive exactly? Why did they cross the waters to Sweden? They don't seem to be focused only on you and your allies. Why is that? You will have to go into enemy territory to find out. In the meantime, we can look at what's arriving in Osterton for the Landfall update. For those starting up new characters or just landed in the world of Generation Zero for the first time, you'll notice there is a new intro movie that takes over the rolling text at the start of the game. For veterans of Osterton who dare to venture into more dangerous regions, new machines are here to freshen up your fights. So we've got obviously two new machines, the Wolves and the Lynx. You can see a little bit of combat of that in the background right now, and it's pretty damn cool. There's a lot of cool stuff that has gone into this update. Absolutely love it. I've been posting videos about it all day, so if this is your first time on the channel, definitely look through the videos. There's loads of cool stuff on there, featuring every little bit that you need to know about this update and the paid DLC, the base defense. And then the Wolf. This is somewhat of a hybrid machine. It transports smaller units to deploy on the battlefield, but also packs its own punch. Depending on which model you come across in the field, there are 3 different classes to fight and plenty of new weak points to find. Next is the Lynx. The Lynx might be small, but it's quite formidable. Its agile design allows for it to be effective in nearly every terrain it comes across, and its speed can catch up with you quickly, so be careful when on the retreat, as this one, they have quite a bite if they get up close. And that is goddamn right, they do have a bite. They've got melee and everything. It is insane. Absolutely love the new Lynxes. They are so cool. They're brilliant machines. We continued our efforts with world improvements and location revamps to spice up the game for everyone to enjoy. This time around we had 2 targets, the Southern Forest region and the Marshlands Partial. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go out there and have a look. I am going to be covering that over this week. All the new locations, things that you really need to check out. There are so many new things. The forest region has had a nice revamp just in the southern part, but it looks really nice. I love what they've done with the forest, especially with the new machines roaming around the actual higher regions. Not so much in the city itself, but in Ostervik there's some cool new places that you can see. We will go over it within the coming days. With these revamps also come new collectibles in the southern part of the forest region. The backstories attached expand on resistance activities in the region and some of the mysteries found within the world as a whole. There are also new collectibles in the marshlands which could shed some light on the Soviet arrival. So alongside all the other little bits, these collectibles are brilliant. I've got the videos out for all of the collectibles that you can go and find. They are out on the channel now, so you can go around. There are 3 sets, so the Resistance newsletter, the Russian dolls, and also the Soviet machine blueprints or schematics, depending on what you want to call them. But they are out there. The locations are all on the channel if you do want to go out there and hunt for them all. I am a bit of a collectible freak. As soon as there's collectibles, I want them and I have to get them. Next, we've got quality of life improvements, and the weapon wheel has finally arrived with the Landfall update as well, which I do say so myself. The weapon wheel is really good. A lot of people have said on PlayStation the weapon wheel is not the greatest. It's a bit of a funky function on there, but I think on PC anyway, I can't speak for PlayStation or console because I'm not on them. I am on PC, and it is brilliant on PC. Love it. We've heard a lot of the feedback out there and found this to be the best solution to address many of the players' needs as we could reach. With this new way to navigate loadouts, you're no longer restricted to 3 weapons at a time. You can mix and match as you see fit. bringing new strategies to any skirmish out there. Which I do think, though, that the one thing that they should do with the weapon wheel is make it optional. So have the ability to switch to the old style loadouts or the weapon wheel, depending on your playstyle and what you want to do. I think that'd be a really smart move. We have made quite a few additions to the arsenal over the past year, with more to come in 2022, so we find it best to finally address the capacity of your plunder storage, as well as the recycling bench. With the debut of the Landfall update, you will be able to expand your storage to your growing needs with up to 5 additional levels for each container. Now, the way we upgrade these is with some pretty simple materials: wood, adhesive, tungsten, loads of random little bits. I've got a video on that as well, detailing the exact amounts of everything that you need. It is quite high for just like the wood and the steel. Everything else is relatively low. Adhesive can be a little bit consuming, so can electrolyte, but the rest of them are in their 20s, so it's fine. But steel and wood are definitely the ones that you're going to need to have a nice chunk of. And there are also some additional improvements to help newer players navigate game systems early on. Materials you find now have descriptions to them showing where to typically find them in the world. Potential schematics can be seen in location summaries as well. Ammo types and weapon matches now have better descriptors in the inventory, giving you a better understanding of what ammo belongs where at a glance. New proportional aim systems that automatically scales with the zoom level can be switched with the old system in the game settings, and in multiplayer settings it is now possible to define whenever other players can build and destroy buildings in your base, which I like that. I think that's really good. I know when base building came out there was a bit of an issue with some people dismantling bases, just by shooting them. You can't actually go up and dismantle them by hand, but yeah, it's quite cool. And for your explorers out there, you'll notice some improvements to the world to help in the resistance efforts. Wood is now harvestable in places you'd expect to find it. For example, you'll find sapling when running through forested areas, which is brilliant. It's so good that you can actually get that. It's only 1 or 2, but it does help. They have, unfortunately, fixed the bug around the resistance base, where you could literally go farm all the wood, come back, exit to main menu and go back, and then all the wood would be back. Now you can't do that. But this is the first step to iterate on materials you'll find in the world. There will be much more to come. For those of you using your situational awareness to help turn the tides of battle, you'll find there are more aptly tagged objects in the world. EMPs and explosives can be triggered with these world items, helping new players understand how to use the environment to their advantage more directly. So as you can see here, we've got the electrical unit, and then down here we've got fixed fuel cells, which is really cool. I love that. The fuel cells already are brilliant. They're so much fun to play with. I love just blowing stuff up with them. It is really cool. But yeah, the electrical units, I did not know that they were actually something you could destroy and create an EMP blast with. So that's something that I'll definitely be looking into. Alongside all these awesome changes, they have released a free building pack. With a new iteration of base defense missions, we also have some new free buildings to go with it. Some of you may recognize them from past dev letters, and they should give everyone a more versatile approach to their resistance defenses. So these are here, the pylon, which is awesome. All of these we've done on the videos today, and the scaffolding platform and the scaffolding ramp, alongside hedges and the tall spotlight, which they work really, really nicely together. Especially the hedges. You wouldn't think it, but the hedges actually do offer a slight bit of protection, which is really cool. Love it. Brilliant part to the update. Base defense does need something, and they've done a lot to it. Whilst new buildings aren't the only thing that's come into the base defense experience, base defense missions have now new iterations as well. The waves of machines that attack are now much more variably. You'll also be able to skip over the preparation timers if you're ready at a moment's notice. We've also been observing various points of feedback about base defense, and have made later difficulties more challenging. Not only has there been quite a few additions to the base game of Generation 0 with the Landfall update, this is also the debut of a larger DLC we've had planned for a while now. One that will help you fend off machine attacks against everything you've built in defense in Osterton. And that is the new paid DLC, the Defense Pack, which UK, that is £3.30, US it is $3.99. So that's brilliant. It is so much fun. I've done a video on that as well. I definitely would say it's worth it. the amount of cool stuff that you get is really, really fun. You can do some pretty cool stuff, especially with the grenade launchers. So while the Landfall update, we also released the Base Defense Pack, which contains a bunch of new ways to defend your bases. Includes missile turrets, spiked walls, spiked floors, explosive barrels, human decoys, sandbag shooting positions. So there we've got the grenade launcher, the sandbag shooting position. I think there's a bug with the shooting positions. I'm not 100% sure. The explosive barrel, the spiked walls there, which work really nicely. I do think they should be a little bit bigger though, just to go with the size of the machines. They work really well against like runners and stuff, but these floor ones work really well against the hunters. We'll see if they mix that. One thing that I have noticed though, like I was saying, I don't know if it's a bug or not, but if you're stood on something and you're shooting, for some reason you damage it automatically. I don't know whether that's a bug or not, but we'll see what happens there. So next up, we've got the bug fixes and all of the other random bits that come along with this letter from the devs. There's a lot here, so grab yourself a cup of tea. Animation, art, and audio. Fixed issues where footstep sound effects stop playing for clients during multiplayer. Fixed issue with SMOD where no reload or footstep sounds were heard in first person. For crashes, this is a big one, and I know a lot of people are very happy with the crash fixes in this update. Fixed a frequent crash in a certain area of Landfall, which is community reported. Crashes when dismantling structures with base building. Crashes on dismantling structures during base building. Okay, there's two there. Never mind. Fixed a continuous crash at the same spot in Scrancabal. Fixed crashes in multiplayer for the client when starting Horde mission on hard difficulty. Fixed crashes where host was crashing when far away from client playing through the Good News mission. Fixed a crash when the host clients would crash after client teleported during Horde mode. Horde mode? We don't have a Horde mode. That's strange. I don't know if that was meant to be in there or not. Curious. Fixed a crash during multiplayer where the host was crashing after ult and tabbing. Fixed crash where players would crash when pressing N to swap ammo. Fixed crashes where the game might crash in the farmlands region during combat. And finally, fixed various crashes during combat at multiple locations. Fixed issue where tanks had their missile battery only firing 2 rockets instead of the full barrage. Issues where Reaper Rival was incorrectly shown as interactable when it has no loot. Issues that would cause rivals to spawn before the terrain, which caused them to die before you were able to reach them. For the UI, fixed issues where weapons disappeared into loot containers. Players could no longer be able to put items back into loot containers, corpses, and etc. Fixed issues where an abnormal inventory behavior when starting a new game, which would cause weight to be displayed incorrectly. Issues where scrolling in the Plunderer, switching item categories may cause the Plunderer interface to behave abnormally. For weapons, fixed an issue that would allow infinite ammo while using burst fire mode with specific weapons. Fixed issues where the US weapons DLC icon only showed the 3 crown weapon attachments that come with the DLC, they should now show on all. Fixed issues where shot wires from experimental ammo damaged and downed other players. Fixed issue where shock ammo wires were appearing through although no one had fired any shock bullets. Fixed issue where shock ammo was still deal damage after having faded out. And fixed an issue with heat ammo that would show electrical effects on glass windows. For base defense, issues that have caused mission fails if one party member fast travels away. Issues where machines act passively in multiplayer during base defense. Issues with the Horde mission where the mission gets stuck on hard difficulty. The Horde mission would have some machines get stuck outside of mission area, risking the mission failing while trying to kill them. Issues where during Horde mode, base turret defenses would not completely lock down tank and hunter enemies, resulting in them not attack due to stagger. Issues where base building during multiplayer where the client was unable to repair a damaged turret. Fixed an issue where one could never spawn at the home base after continuing the game. Issues when machines spawned before preparation timer is up during hard mode. Exploit where materials around the home base would respawn every time you restart the session. Damn! Bastards! I believe they fixed it. Issues where buildings could change rotation when they are dismantled. And in the world, there's quite a few there. Floating weapon crate in the barn as Story of Dibro. So these are just random little ones. I'm just going to quickly flick through these ones because there's just like fences or random little bits that don't really matter too much. but there's not really anything that's interesting in there, I would say. So if you do want to check it out, then definitely do it. Fixed assignments where FMTL reward trunk could not be interacted with. Fixed issues where destroy 5 ticks with a handgun assignment could not be completed. And so, good thing that people might be very excited for that I've seen here is they fixed the issue where the experimental KVM-59 was not dropped by a Reaper. So hopefully people will still get that now. There's a lot more fixes in general and world, but I will leave that to you guys, otherwise I'm just going to be listing off for a very long time. And the known issues at the moment are the wolf can sometimes get stuck on terrain objects, and some FMTEL assignments are not working as intended. We are already working on a hotfix to address this. So that is it for the Landfall update patch notes. There is a lot of good stuff in there, and it looks like they're planning to do a lot of good stuff this year. I would love to get back to us having, even if it's just a smaller update a month, getting those smaller updates, or maybe even a bigger update every sort of 3 months. But we'll see what they do in the future. If you don't know already, I will be joining Pontus with Tenebrous on the Generation Zero stream tomorrow at 3 PM GMT. So that's going to be a fun one. Make sure you drop by and say hello for that one. That is on the Systemic Reactions YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. But for today, I've been Wired. You've been awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.